Hello, everyone. Welcome to our. That's weird. What is Roll20 doing? There we go. Welcome to our 5th episode of our Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign. I am Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. Thank you to all my players taking time to play this campaign with me. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, Mage and Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. You can check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Be sure to also check out Found Familiar at foundfamiliar.com. And, of course, Roll20, the virtual tabletop we use for all of our games. And be sure to check out our partners through the Dice-O-Mancy program at Level Up Dice. That said, I had a surprise for my players tonight, but in my confusion of mixing up videos and such, I forgot to launch my thing. Yes, it's a small surprise, but we're gonna up the production value of our game a bit.
How?
Well, I wish the thing would load as I finished talking, but it apparently didn't. So, give me just 2 seconds.
We're watching. I'm amused that my overly dramatic character art hair is like I have to lean around it on the over.
In the eye.
So
it matches your overly dramatic eyes.
What's wrong with that?
there should be sounds. Because we are going to play the rest of the campaign with the official sound set from Sirenscape. So we're going to have all the sounds from each of the appropriate 10 towns whenever they get visited by the party. So,
what if we just stay in Dugan's Hole forever?
It's very nice
Then we just hear, hello! all the
Hello!
Then you will
good
hear
morning,
Dugan's
neighbors.
Hole, and that's it.
Can we like petition Sirenscape? That should be part of the Dugan's Hole sound set. Oh, hello!
I'm official town greeter, hello!
If only. That said, without further ado, let's just delve back into our game. You know these characters, you love them, you follow their adventures for the last 4 episodes, so we're going to skip over introductions a bit and continue where we left off 2 weeks ago, in an inn in Dugan's Hole, the hole in the ground. I believe it was Ragnar who was having a bit of a chat with a dwarven bounty hunter, who
was quite shocked because the last thing that happened was me rolling real high on that dex and grabbing the frost dagger from the dwarf.
Yes, she had produced a frost dagger, well, a dagger made of ice, while speaking with Ragnar, and at the same time, on the other end of town, Etten, as well as the rest of the party, except for Ragnar, discovered in Etten's home that his altar to the Morning Lord had been smashed to pieces, and an axe made of ice was left in its place. The rest of the group rushed to the tavern, throwing accusations left and right at random people. But also, Sarkia noticed the ice dagger and quickly reached out to it. I believe Etten and Helifine had not yet reached the inn by the end of our last game, right?
He needs water.
It is
We're
correct.
in an intense hugging session.
Yeah.
What we had stepped out and had the clouds parted moment.
That is true.
I
With a
feel I
beam of
should
light.
mention, simply because PJ said that it was extremely overdramatic, but I made the choice and that Sarkia entered the tavern with her shoulders on fire because I pressed the digitated flames coming off of my back because I thought it would be impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Not your back off of...
No, it was mine.
Back.
It was mine.
I thought
See,
it
when
was.
you said shoulders on fire, I pictured like 80s shoulder pads, but with like just little flames on the end, and it was great.
Oh my god, dog. Okay. Sorry, I thought I was muted. I was not. No, that's chocolate. Can't have it.
So we find ourselves in the hole in the ground. People have barged in, and our dwarf Hlyn is taken aback by Sarkia's action. Would you mind?
Actually, yes, I would mind. And she had, I mean, Sarkia with that roll, she actually took the dagger, right? Or she's just got a hold of it.
She was going to swipe it in her coat, and the way I picture it, you just put your hand on it.
Okay.
Like you're holding it, but you haven't like hidden it on your person or anything.
Okay. I think we need to know a little bit more about that that dagger you've got. Why you were trying to hide it.
I'm going to cover my face slightly. It's like these people are quite insane, and I'm gonna put my hand over Sarkia's hand and try to like nudge it back towards the dwarfs, into the dwarf possession. Like they mean well.
No. Fancy pants, no. We just came from Etten's house. Somebody has destroyed it, and they left behind an axe that's made of this same stuff.
And while they were arguing over the dagger and trying to hide it, subconsciously, Eliza will try to cover up her coat and, make sure nothing underneath is showing.
Are you still by the table with the 3 other patrons?
No, I went by the dagger.
Okay.
After I put the guy back down.
Helen looks at all 3 of you and says, "Whatever you think, I ain't nothing to do with it. I just don't show this around because of... well, it might complicate things if too many people are aware."
But you have no problem with Mr. Fancy Pants here knowing about it.
Well...
Oh, does that bother you for some reason?
No, I just think you should be more concerned about the fact that I just told you a giant ice axe destroyed the altar of our friend.
It is Eden we are talking about. He is the sweetest person I've ever met. Who would do that to him?
Oh. I think I know.
Is that the dwarf?
Yeah. She points to... sorry, my woman dwarven voice is not the best.
Just picture a smaller beard.
Yeah.
With some pretty ornaments.
She points to all 3 of you and says, "You're all acquainted to one another, I guess."
That's a very, very strong word.
No, I think acquainted is perfect for what we are. I wouldn't say friendly.
Yes, definitely. I think they're a bit... I know them in passing.
I see
Hopefully.
myself quite like a protector to Etten, almost.
I think we all protect Etten. I think we are all not so good people, but he's good people.
I mean, I am good people.
I'm just going to smile very broadly.
Helen just sits back down and crosses her arms, looks at all 3 of you in turn. Like, you can feel she's gauging like your potential as a not a client of hers, but as someone she might turn to for her problem. And after about a minute of silence, she says, "Well, you all look like you can handle yourselves quite fine. You can keep the dagger then. You might need it to track the person I'm looking for."
Oh, well, if it's tracking, then yes, and then I will forcefully take the dagger out of Sarkia's hand.
Sarkia doesn't fight you. She doesn't want it. She just wanted to know about it. You could have just asked. Actually, tell me, what was your name? And she says to the dwarf, what was your name?
Helen.
Helen?
Helen.
I can't understand it, Simon, over the music. Can you spell it?
Oh yeah, Hlin.
Flynn, okay.
Yeah, pronounce it however you want. It's like Lynn with an H.
Flynn, okay.
Helen Trollbane.
Okay. Do you, are you well acquainted with this ranger?
It's about the second time I see him in my life.
Has he bothered to give you any information about himself at all?
Not that I recall. Why is it important?
For instance, do you even know his name?
I just smile very broadly again. He's like, well, you did sort of rather run into the bar with flames on your shoulders, if I remember, as we were talking. So
it's worked in the past. I mean, do you know anything about him that would make you want to trust him or us with anything?
Oh, aren't you the people what brought them kids back to town?
Yes, but I'm very, very interested in whether you know his name.
I don't. Do you?
No.
And yet you say you're all acquainted.
Oh, I'm acquainted. I just don't know his name because he keeps refusing to ask, but I'm going to keep asking because every time I ask, he gives me money.
well, you did look like you needed it.
There is a glint in her eyes, and she turns to Ragnar and says, "Huh, what's your name?"
I mean, all you had to do was ask.
I asked.
No, you did look like you begged. There was a difference.
Sarkia is very offended.
You can call me Anibrin.
Anibrin.
Yes, simply Anibrin.
Like inebriated?
No.
Well,
I'm going to go check on Etten.
who is
Nice to
this?
meet you.
What do you mean, nice to meet me? You've been traveling with me for 3 days.
I mean, isn't that... I gave you my name. Nice to meet you.
Okay,
I
I don't know
wanna
what's
do,
going on here, but
I want to do an insight check on this this little cockwomble over here. Let's see.
You know what? It would be nice to meet the person who destroyed Ethan's house.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Why wouldn't I roll terribly? Why not?
Ragnar, can you give me a deception check?
Please roll a 1.
You would know that he just threw the first name that came through his mind.
But he's still smiling.
I think I'm going to stick with calling you Fancy Pants.
I
It's
mean,
more accurate.
whatever makes you feel nice.
And Sarkia will leave the tavern. She's going to go try to check on Etten.
So before we continue the discussion with Helen, Trollbane, we're just gonna pan all the way across Dugan's Hole. That sounds wrong. And we're going to check on
I mean, just how big?
It's 100 people.
Just...
Etten and Helafine. You have just hugged under the overcast twilight sky of Icewind Dale, and both looked up as a beam of light, of sunlight, pierced through the clouds. Sort of like literally a god ray, because it was probably a literal god that sent it. It lasted for but a second.
And
Oh, yes.
I know you were talking about wanting like a sign of some kind. What was that?
Happy day! Oh yes, that was definitely a sign from my god. Oh, hello, yes. And I would like to try and pick up Helafine and spin her around in a circle.
What's your strength score, and how much does Helafine weigh?
It's impolite to ask.
I know, but as a half giant,
she's a Goliath, so she's not small. I actually don't know if I put in a weight for her. I never do because I'm the worst.
No, but that's okay. If you haven't, what we'll do is we'll just go with the average, like to make sure that he can spin you around. But I don't
he
think
can certainly try.
He can, yeah, definitely.
Strength is 16.
Your strength is 16, and so you can lift off the ground with not much of an effort. It's 5 times your strength score. Is it 5 times or 10 times or 20 times? Oh boy. Anyway,
if it's anything other than 20 times, he's screwed.
I'll go with like Baldur's Gate rules. With a 16, you can hoist a person and throw them. So yes, you can definitely lift Helafine up and spin around without exerting yourself.
Because that has never happened to Helafine before, like never happened. She'll probably instinctively just reach out and flail and try and get him to drop her. The minute her feet leave the ground.
I feel like this is the moment Sarkia would walk back in on. It's truly a wonderful moment. She will just kind of sit there and be like,
They're out in the open, so you're not walking in so much as you're walking
walking
out.
in, noticing the moment. I'm just like,
hello.
And got a sign from his god, and then I don't know what that was.
It was celebration.
It was very sad, like 15 minutes ago.
Don't celebrate like that again.
I think she's going to throw up. Oh goodness! And Sarkia just like backs away.
Oh, would you like some fish jerky?
No, God, anything but that, please.
It's good for settling the stomach.
I don't think
I'm okay.
I could say give me a deception check, but we all know that Etten really believes it to be true.
And thinks fish jerky cures all ails. Like,
it's it's food. Yes. Oh, the sign, and I've been waiting for 7 years, and now it's time to go. Oh, yes.
What?
That
Go
means
where?
that. Well, I don't know yet, but it means that we can go.
who's
It's time
we?
to save the world.
Oh.
Yes. Oh,
Did I? Did Did I miss something? When are we saving the world?
I also did not receive this
Well,
memorandum.
you see, I speak to the god, yes. And I say hello, and he sometimes says hello back, but very rarely. But recently I had a vision. Um, and there was 5 fish, and I didn't know what it meant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now there's 5 of us, and so I thought maybe we can leave. And we went and rescued the children, and I thought maybe that was it. But then the clouds parted. Oh, and the god said hello, and I said hello back, and that means that we are ready to go.
You dreamt we were fish?
The gods,
Fish who saved the world?
it's mysterious. Gods are mysterious. This is how they do it.
Sarkia, you've been on adventures, but is it usually fish?
Well, the Dugan's hole is a fish. The symbol is a fish for here.
In my experience, and quite vast experience,
Fast?
you're not there. I personally have found that the gods are not to be trusted. But
Oh, that's a
Etten-
very serious
Etten-
accusation.
No, it's actually it's not an accusation. It's my experiences. Etten's god, however, seems to like him quite a bit. But I've never once read about fish saving the world.
Oh no, you're all being very oh, you're warping the words. Look, I had a vision.
Those were the words that you said. You said that the fish, there are 5 fish,
yes.
and 5 fish saved the world.
I just did the fish do anything, Etten?
Oh
What
no,
did they do?
see, I've been here for 7 years, and I was told to come here, and I was told to wait. And I
How
waited
did your god tell you to come here?
in my head.
You saw Dugan's hole in your head.
Yes.
Did you hear your god's voice?
On occasion, yes. He
He
says hello.
I trust you and I believe you and everything, and frankly that seems like a much better idea than just continuing to wander around. But do you know where we need to go to save the world?
It will be presented to us.
Is the world ending right now? Should we take cover or hide or something?
When you say these words, just as quick as the sun shone on Dugan's Hole, in retaliation for this, a freezing cold wind rises when you say, "Should we seek shelter?"
I think that we should go to the... I came to tell you that... because I still have the axe. Because I was carrying it. Was it a hand axe or was it two-handed?
It's a battle axe, so it's a one-handed.
One-handed. Okay, so I've probably got it strapped to my belt, but I can't do shit with it because I'm not proficient or anything. The thing. She kind of pulls back her cloak. The thing that destroyed your house.
Oh yes.
Mr. Fancy Pants is talking to a dwarf who has a dagger that looks just like it.
See? That's a sign. That's as good as saying hello.
It's certainly a coincidence.
What though?
I don't know.
But this wind is awfully cold, so perhaps we should go
Let's go
get
to
in
the
a pile.
Yes. Let's not a pile. We're just going to go to the tavern.
And if a pile happens, that's okay.
If it someday if the pile happens, it will be very good for you, Etten.
Yes, you
You've
are
got to let
very
the
warm.
pile happen naturally. It's kind of weird when you keep trying to force it. It's a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be spontaneous. If it ever happens, it's just going to be spontaneous.
Well,
And
those
I
are the
promise
best
it'll be
cuddle
that
it'll be
piles.
amazing, but
I
like
promise that you and Fancy Pants will definitely be the solid base of this cuddle pile.
you can braid your
Excellent.
beards together.
Yes,
He has wonderful, wonderful cloaks.
he does. They're very fancy. But could we go to the?
Oh, yes, we have wonderful news.
Oh, okay.
I'll make it a point to walk sort of flat-footed in front of Sarkia so that maybe because I know the snow was pretty deep before, but maybe there's a bit of a trodden path for her to follow.
Yeah, she's about 5'9", but this is still a heck ton of snow.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
Okay, I got you, fam.
by the time you reach the inn, there's about a half-inch of snow that is already piled on the ground. And in the inn, Alize, Ragnar, the other patrons, and Halin, you would have noticed maybe roughly 5 minutes after Sarkia left, the wind began to pick up. And it's almost a blizzard, like the one you've encountered at the lodge, begins to rise.
And that would seem unusual because it didn't look like it was going to be that way earlier to me.
Nope, the sky was clear. Again, you remember the weather watching check you made. What was it, like roughly 24 hours before? So that was. Oh, we can hear someone in the back. Oh, not anymore. Okay. Yeah, so you remember that there shouldn't have been any blizzards. Neither at the lodge, nor right now in the village. It just rose all of a sudden. It's almost like there was someone controlling the weather.
Outside, Sarkia would be like, Helfine, are you doing this again like you did?
I need the chair to control the weather, and I don't have the chair here, so I maybe someone else.
I imagine
is
we're
sitting
probably
in it?
shouting to be heard. But can we even see where the tavern is?
Yes, it's not as bad as the blizzard was, so you can see about 10 feet ahead of you.
Okay. All right.
So it's
we
the
would
tavern is
definitely-
just this weird glow in the distance, and as you get closer, you can see the definition of the walls, the roof, and everything.
I would imagine we all just bust through the doors because it's very windy.
Hello, everyone. I have wonderful news. Hello.
You guys, Etten was talking to his god, and there was a sunbeam, and apparently fish are gonna save the world, and we're the fish.
That sounds right.
I will immediately
did-
turn right to the dwarf and be like, "This is what I meant."
And did you do that again, Helafine?
No. I need the chair to control the weather, and the chair's back at the.
Do you
tent.
show you didn't like soak up any of the power or something?
Hold on. Look.
Yeah, see,
So-
it's happening.
No, not me.
I'm
I
gonna walk
I was trying to make it stop.
I'm gonna walk
Oh.
straight to the bartender and I'm gonna order another drink.
Aye. And it just pours you another, warm cider, like mulled wine. Which are two different things, but whatever. Just a mix of both. Here.
I'm gonna lean down to him too and I'll be like, "Make sure none of them have anything else. Understand? No more for them."
But I didn't even have anything.
We just got here.
Oh, hello, my good friend. Hello. I have
Helen,
wonderful news.
I'll kind of elbow Sarkia just a little bit. Is that the guy? Is he the one who trashed Etten's house?
No, I don't think the dwarf trashed the place. The dwarf was here talking to Fancy Pants. She just had a dagger that looked exactly like the axe, just that glowy, icy stuff. And it doesn't
Excuse me,
seem
where'd that dagger come from?
We've already been through this.
Why don't you come sit over here? And she stares at the other three patrons, the ones that Alize frightened earlier, and she just throws daggers at them with her eyes.
Not real ones, just the...
No. She's
Just eye daggers.
Yeah, eye daggers. Like, you say anything, I'ma kill you type of thing. And
I'll go and like sit next to the dwarf, but scoot my stool or chair or whatever I have as close as possible, so I'm like right there.
Sarkia is going to stay up by the bar and just observe. This isn't a large tavern, correct?
No, it can sit about 20, 25 people max.
So if I'm at the bar, I can still go see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's
What is Alize doing, like, after she scared the patrons?
Sat down
Was
next
she
to the...
scared the patrons?
I didn't go to them. I came right to the dwarf.
With flaming
yeah.
shoulders.
No, I did
It was
scare
a
that
fashion
one little
statement.
guy. But anyways, Alyssa was just hanging out with the dwarf and the fancy pants and looking for a spot to talk to her without him around. But as he was going to the bar, of course, now you all came. So
Well, I mean, if you wanted to, what we can do is if you want to sneak like a quick quick like
okay.
aside to her while Ragnar's going up to the, like, while he's getting up to the bar and they're walking to the table, like, you might have a few seconds to sneak in something if you wanted.
I was just trying to figure out like which direction she came from, like where she traveled recently.
She would tell you that she's from Bryn Shander.
Oh, so north. Okay.
Aye.
Do you know how to get word around these areas? Do you have any connections, or seems like everybody in this town is kind of disconnected from everywhere else?
There's not much traveling going around. I'm heading myself back to Bryn Shander once, and she looks at the dagger, well, or maybe if Ragnar has the dagger, she'll look quickly at Ragnar and says, once this matter is resolved, it's where I need to go anyway. So if look, a favor for a favor. If you help me out, I can bring word to Bryn Shander if you have a letter or something. I mean, I'm going that way.
Yeah. Okay. I'll convince the others to help you with your task. I need you to find a bard and send it over to me to find me.
All right. She'll rummage through her coat pockets and get like an old, torn up piece of map, and just set it in front of you with a piece of charcoal and just write as much as you can on that. I'll try to find them.
Okay. Not a specific bard, someone who's willing to travel around from actually Bryn Shander down south and just spreading word around in the taverns. So anybody who can handle the weather conditions, who can travel, and that we can trust.
She says there's a lot of people that left Bryn Shander because who would want to live in these conditions? For sure, 10-town folks are hardy folks. If they're heading south, they don't risk much. Aside maybe from the Yetis and the mountain pass and a few of the more violent orcs, but aside from that, yeah, I can find someone.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pay him handsomely. Just make sure they sing well and they can spread the word out.
Let me know what you need them to do. I'll do my best.
All right. Likewise. It looks like he's coming back. We'll continue.
And that would be the moment where, Helafine comes to sit by, Ragnar comes back with a glass of mulled wine. Sarkia and Etten, do you also sit down by by Helen at the table?
No, I go around to all the patrons that are in the bar currently are citizens of Dugan's Hole, right?
Yes. Aside from Helen, everyone's a native. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, native
Then
of Dugan's Hole.
I will go shake hands with all of them as I'm walking around and tell them the wonderful news that I got my sign. Oh, hello, I finally got the sign I've been waiting for. Oh, I'm so happy. I'll be going now.
Oh no, you'll be leaving.
Sarkia will follow behind Etten. And as Etten happily goes from person to person, when she hears the sarcastic comments like that one, she's like, oh, would you care to repeat that?
I said, ho, you'll be leaving.
Yes. You all haven't been very kind to him.
One of the three patrons mumbles, well, I have. The other two just look at each other and say, it's a rough place here in the north.
He told me that he expects people to ransack his home when he leaves. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that.
It happened only twice.
Why did it happen even once?
The first one doesn't want to answer, but the second one chimes in and says, because the door was unlocked.
Why did you know the door was unlocked? She is giving what she assumes would be a friendly smile. She is not very well practiced at this.
There was a cry coming from inside. We thought he might have, taken someone from town. You know.
Oh, because he's not like you.
Have you seen him?
You know, a criminal.
I'm not a criminal, I'm a proud fisherman.
Who ransacks people's homes. Why don't you tell me which boat is yours outside? And I'll make sure that I'll go check and see if the doors are unlocked.
I think my wife's calling. I can hear her shrill cry over the blizzard. Well, boys, I gotta go. And he goes to get up. And we'll leave if you don't stop him.
Oh, I'm just going to watch him leave, and then I'm going to turn back to his friend. So where does he live, Ben?
Why'd you want to know?
Just want to check if his doors are unlocked.
His doors are locked. We'll make sure Etten's doors are locked as well.
Hopefully he'll never have to come back to this shithole.
It's called Dugan's
Hole.
It's almost like in the past 5 years, this exact sentence was repeated often enough for it to become a reflex.
I've only known Etten for 3 days, and I already know he's a better person than any of you. So I would recommend that when he's gone, if he leaves any of his stuff, that stuff needs to remain untouched.
But you've also only met like 2 people.
No, I met a whole bunch of people the first night that we were here.
The one that spoke first, that admitted their guilt, says, All right, I'll... Hey, Etten!
Oh, hello!
I'll watch over your shack. Don't you worry none.
So kind.
Yeah.
Thank you. And make sure my favorite ice hole stays open. It's got good fish there. You can use it.
Oh, I'm definitely checking your house then. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on your hole.
And what was your name, wonderful citizen of Dugan's Hole?
Jonas.
She makes a big show of taking out one of her books and writing his name down. Good.
What's that for?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing. And then she'll just go wandering over towards Etten is. Dog, stop licking my elbow.
The
She does
Helen
not say that. That was me.
Helen scoots her chair a little because she feels somewhat intimidated by the presence of a Goliath next to her. While she is like, she's kind of tall and built for a dwarf. Yeah, she pales in comparison to the mountain of muscles next to her. And she says, "Well, you don't have to be that close. I'm not gonna whisper."
Sorry.
So,
Where'd you get that?
Bryn Shander.
What?
Bryn Shander. It's a town north of here.
I knew that. Did it come from somewhere in particular? It just doesn't look normal.
It doesn't. Belongs to a killer.
Is that you?
No. And you can even like almost feel the disgust in her voice when she says no the second time.
So did they like give it to you as a present, or?
Yes, the killers gave it to her as a present. And now
Fancy
she wants
Pants,
to
how do you
return
know?
it. Because she told me, and she's hired us to find the killer so she can return it.
Let's do it. I mean, Etten had a dream about it. It's all the signs are there.
And then he's going to take a very large swig from his mug and look at the dwarf and just sort of shake his head like, I'm so sorry about this.
I don't know why you're apologizing for us, because you're the one who got all sarcastic about it. I was just asking where the knife came from. Was it a gift?
I had to fish it out of the last person he killed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want a hug?
No, it's
I've been told I should ask first, so I'm gonna try and do that now.
it's good, but it's part and parcel for the job.
She's okay.
What job's that?
Bounty hunting.
Oh, that's why you've got this like mysterious vibe going on. Do you two know each other? And she'll gesture between Fancy Pants and the dwarf.
He will just take another deep drink of his drink and just look at the dwarf again and just be like, yeah.
If you
like
keep
I said,
apologizing for me, I'm gonna be very upset. I just say.
It's just, yeah, I like I said, I've known them like a day and a half tops. Just, you know.
Could I step on his foot accidentally and then just turn back to the dwarf?
I'll allow it. She looks at Ragnar and at Helafine in turn and says, "Let's just say our profession attracts a certain type of person."
I don't understand.
The more you give away, the less chances you have of waking up the next day.
Okay. I understand that. That makes sense. I like secrets. Secrets are kind of fun sometimes. So you got the knife from a killer. Do you think that axe, and I'll sort of point over at Sarkia's hip where she has it tied off. Do you think that came from the same person? Same guy?
Probably, though his MO is normally to... She doesn't finish her sentence. She turns immediately to Etten. Looks him up and down. Is your shield visible?
Yeah, it's sort of slung on my back with the pack full of armor and all the other stuff I'm toting around. But yeah, it's on the outside, easily swingable down.
So, glancing at you, she says, yeah, you're a priest of that Morning Lord, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Hello, I'm Eden, official town greeter of Dugan's and prophet of Lathander.
Yeah, his god just talked to him.
He said hello, and I said hello.
That might have painted a big target on your back. So is Emo, and she turns back to Elefine. As he goes after people who cheat Oriel, the one who's responsible for all of this. If you say your god speaks to you, then he sleeps with her.
Like in a cuddle pile.
Like in
Doubtful.
a cuddle pile kind of way, yeah. He's more
So-
connected to her than you think.
So he's like a priest.
I would think more like a fanatic.
Worse. A chosen.
Well, that doesn't
Whoa.
sound good. That doesn't.
I mean, yeah. Whoa.
I don't know if we should be going after this person.
No. What? No. I mean, he had a dream. 5 fishes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Who had a dream? What?
I had a dream. Lathander
Oh.
told me. He said Dugan's Hole in the fish, and there's 5 fishes, and he showed me the monolith that
We're the
Helafine knocked
fish.
over, and we're the fish, and
Okay.
it means it's time to go.
Yes.
We are
It-
good
Elefine
friends.
No,
explained this
no.
one. Not in this detail, but-
I'm listening. Yes, fish.
So we're the fish. We're gonna save the world. And did your god happen to tell you where we're supposed to go?
Nope.
Yes, of course not. Nah, no, why? Why would he?
But the timing. Hello. The timing is very fortuitous. It wrecked my altar and the knife and this. Look, I'm not a smart man.
It all
but
makes sense.
It makes sense.
Mrs. Bounty Hunter Lady.
Helen. You can call me Helen.
I prefer Mrs. Bounty Hunter. I feel like it's more respectful. Where can we find this killer?
Well, I've been keeping an eye on him for the past 10 days. He was trekking south through the woods between Bryn Shander and here. I wasn't sure if he was going to go to Goodmead first or this place. Seems like the hole was his chosen location, which means that he's somewhere in this village as we speak.
You think
What is
he's
he-
here?
Hmm?
You think he's here?
If he left, he must have left right after he destroyed your altar.
What does he want? Why destroy an altar? What is the purpose?
Yeah,
'Cause-
Sarki will step in and just be like, because he thinks his god is better than Eten's god. This is the problem with gods.
At least he didn't
Well,
break
one
my
of them.
fishing poles.
Your fishing poles aren't religious.
No, but they're safe.
That's true. Fancy Pants, do you think you can track in the sweater? Can you see which way he might have left after?
Is it still
the-
blizzardy?
Yeah.
It is still blizzardy.
Is my lantern doing anything abnormal?
Not for the moment.
Okay.
I would have to even know where he was. You said he was at Eden's house, didn't you?
It's
He
correct.
was.
I mean, we could try. We'd have to leave now, in the middle of the weather.
You put the
before it
glass
gets
down.
worse. Yes, put down the warm, comforting glass to go on this crazy thing.
You're the
least
one
you've
who
accepted
started finding out about this dagger and everything before we all did, and now we have the gods that are speaking to it. And I mean, we need to figure out who did this to him.
Mrs. Bounty Hunter lady. So, let's just say hypothetically, Mr. Fancy Pants can track down this killer person, and we don't all die trying to apprehend them. Is there something we can do for you? You were tracking them first. It seems kind of rude to step in.
Oh, believe me, I would. I would appreciate if someone was to take this bounty off of me. I'm old. I don't like traveling so much anymore, and this cold is just not doing it for my bones.
Oh, I'll take it.
What would you like as a trophy?
Oh. Don't need
get
to
ahead of
bring anything
ourselves.
to me. You bring back the head of this murderer to the Speaker of Bryn Shander. One, let me get my notes.
That's a weird name.
I know. You'll realize a lot of NPCs in Icewind Dale are called Let Me Get My Notes. Cousins
It's a common
of
family
It's in
name.
My
It's a
Notes.
colloquialism.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. To the Speaker of Bryn Shander,
Sounds
one
better in
Duvessa
the
Shane.
original language.
Yeah. So it's Duvessa Shane.
That's a shame.
Yeah. She is in Legend Keeper for all of you to see.
So, you're not heading back to Bryn Shander?
If I can avoid it, I would. I might. And she looks at Elize for a second. And it says, no, I will.
I mean, can't hurt to double back, make sure that he hasn't doubled back that way, right? You said he came from that direction.
He did.
Well then, I suppose head to Bryn Shander. We can probably meet you there. While you're there, perhaps you could meet up with a friend of mine. Let her know that we'll be on our way.
What kind of friend is this?
A friend of mine.
You don't have a lot of friends. You understand why this is
I do,
interesting.
friend.
I don't think so.
Once again, you've known me for a day and a half.
You don't seem to like us very much.
I didn't think you would live this long, to be frank.
Okay, that's fair. That's
That got
kind of
dark.
mean, but fair, I guess.
I can. Who's that friend of yours?
I'll lean in slightly closer, just be like, would you just let a Beldora know that our friend is on the job, shall we say?
Did I hear any of that?
I mean,
He wasn't being entirely
Super
secretive about
quiet,
it.
yeah.
He just moved in enough for it to you just not to be overheard by the rest of the bar.
no, so everyone around the table would have heard definitely the name Beldora. Oh, she's already in there. I think she's is she in Legend Keeper?
Should be.
I forgot to add her. I'm just gonna add her really quickly so you have a description as well to give her. Because that would be, you know, awesome. Did I add her? No, that's why I don't have her. But yeah, she's a an older woman. Well, older, in her 50s. She has a darker skin color than most inhabitants of, or most natives of the 10 towns. And dark, curly brown hair with little streaks of gray in them. You can't really describe how she dresses, if only because she tends to change her apparel often. even like cold weather outfit and everything. It seems like she has more than one. But with an accurate enough description, since you know Beldora, she'll know who to find and where. Anything you what was it you wanted me to say, that the friends were on their way?
A friend is a mutual friend is on the job, as it were.
Aye, I can do that.
And with any luck, we'll return back to you with the job finished.
Let me walk you out. She tries to get the dwarf away from the rest of the group.
As luck would have it, the blizzard is abating at that point. So she looks outside and says, better get going before it starts again. Sure. She gets up and gives one last look to the group and says, the person you're looking for, he has a name. His name's Cephik. Cephik Caltro. He's been... well, before this whole thing started, he was kind of known around the 10 towns. A traveling merchant. You can find him easily. Every eyewitness I've interrogated have told me the same thing. He doesn't wear anything to survive this weather. No coat, no scarf, no gloves.
So
like,
he's a naked murderer.
well, nobody described him as being actually naked, but
Oh.
he can... it seems that he is untouched by the cold. And she will get up and leave with Alize. Outside the
Okay.
tavern. Yeah.
So this looks like it is going to take a lot longer than what I originally anticipated. I don't know if we'll be able to meet you back in Brinshander. Hopefully we will, but I think instead of waiting for the bard to find me, I'm gonna trust you with the lyrics I want the bard to sing. And Aliza gives a parchment to the dwarf that says, capture the dragon, slay the god, the flying warrior with the wind, the hair of wind. And then she also gives her the what was that, the carved goat for the payment for the bard.
Oh, okay.
And says, make sure the bard stops by every inn singing the song from Brinshander down south.
I suppose out of game, you want the message to eventually reach Candlekeep.
Yeah.
All right. So she'll make sure that it's someone that, you know, travels up and
Not
down
even
the circles.
Candlekeep, but like, cause
Well, even
I
after.
had news that he was coming up north,
Yeah.
right? So around that. So it doesn't have, the bard doesn't have to go down like past Waterdeep, because she doesn't want the actually news to reach the Candlekeep.
Oh, yeah,
because
that
she's
makes
trying to
sense.
hide. Yeah.
All right. So she says, I'll try to find anyone who's willing to travel down to Waterdeep, which shouldn't be hard these days. And she wraps the figurine you give her, the goat, in the lyric sheet, and she pockets it. It says, cryptic message, eh?
I mean, it was just yesterday.
All right.
We do have a busy schedule, but hopefully we will get your job done too, and hope to see you again. The good news.
Aye.
It is very important though, so please make sure it gets out.
I will. And you get that son of a bitch. And she starts walking into the snow. back inside the inn.
Okay, so we should try and figure out where to look for this murderer.
Oh, you're muted.
You said he was at Etton's house?
Oh, yes, hello, he broke my stuff.
Not anymore. I mean,
Yes, well,
or he's very good at hiding for a
No.
naked murderer.
no, yes, I know. I'm going to track him from Etton's house. You said he was there, which means he would have left from there.
Uh-huh.
That's what I do. I'm going to track him from there. Providing the snow didn't completely ruin the tracks.
Thrune
So
gets his.
you're
sorry.
not gonna track him from there.
I'm going to take another very large swig when she says that.
Can you smell him?
I hope I don't smell him now.
I don't know. Everyone in Dugan's Hole seems to have a little.
Yeah, I read stories, some track with smell.
They have to be very strong, and if we can smell him that much, then let's worry about that. I'll do the tracking. You guys do the following.
Thrune pokes his head
the
out of
way.
the backpack. Says, are you always chasing after danger?
I'm looking for something, and it seems to be that it keeps hiding behind dangerous things.
That's precarious. Etton's nice.
I mean,
Hello.
yes.
Hi.
I don't like that many people. I like Etten.
Oh, I like you too.
As well, I mean, there's no accounting for taste. Are we going to Etten's house?
Oh, yes, I'd love to show you my house.
I've seen it. I think the only one who hasn't seen it here is Fancy Pants.
I can picture it in my mind. Let's go.
Not much.
When everybody's leaving, Sarkia will kind of take the edge of Fancy Pants' sleeve. So, just how long have you been a bounty hunter?
How long have you been and he waves his hands up and down.
I'm asking in seriousness.
As am I.
Have you been in this area long?
I arrived the same time you did,
No, I mean.
much to my
I
surprise.
mean Icewind Dale.
Apparently much longer than you lot, which is, again, I'm surprised you're all alive. Well, not Etten. Etten can take care of himself. And the large one, well, even though she seems very confused half the time.
Have you ever heard of a bounty being put out on somebody who might have eyes similar to mine?
He's going to look at you guys and just be like, there's not often bounties put out on eyes that I can think of, sorry.
That's not what I meant.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Thanks. Well then, let's go help Etten. He seems to be the common denominator that's pretty much all any of us can agree on.
Did we, though? And then he's just going to walk off.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break, quick bio before we reach Etton's house.
Has become trapped in perpetual winter.
Wow, there's a voiceover on that track. Okay, so we're going to take a quick 5-minute break.
Dun dun!
Kelly's face.
When we come back, we pick up the investigation from Etton's house. So stick around, everyone. We will be right back. And we're back, everyone. Hello. It is us. The 5 bounty hunters. And me, I guess.
And the dog,
And a dog.
who's been sitting in Sarkia's coat the whole time. He doesn't have patience for our bullshit. Oh, I just got lipstick on your head, buddy. Sorry.
So you walked all the way to Etton's shack. A small house on the edge of Dugan's Hole. It's been rapidly cleaned, like in a matter of minutes earlier. I figure, Etton, you closed the door when you left? Or did you leave it open?
I'd close it if it stayed closed. It's not a house is being generous.
It's like
Awful.
this. Yeah, it's like the size of an outhouse with just like a small extension.
I built it
So
myself.
it's a New York apartment.
It's in New York. It's a $800,000 condo. Yep.
Sad face.
But yes, the if you open the door to the rest of the group, and you would all see the mess that's been caused inside, and the altar that's been definitely desecrated and broken, split by the frost axe.
I'll point out, and these are my fishing poles. This is my favorite one, and I made this bed myself. It's lumpy, and that pelt that we found, and that'd be a good addition to my bed. But I built it myself, just like I cut my own hair. I'm very self-sufficient. Hello.
When he says that, one of the nails that helps stabilize one of the shelves just lets go, and the shelf just.
It happens all the time. It's the weather.
Yeah, well, it is exactly as I pictured.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I mean, I think it's... At least you have a home, Etten.
I'm not even a trained carpenter.
I could never have guessed. Oh, you're muted.
I'm sure. I'm sure some of it, that happened when they ransacked your house, right? It probably wasn't a more stable. No.
No.
Oh.
So, good friend, what do you see? And let the light of lavender guide your eyes. And I'll cast guidance on him as I pet him on the shoulder.
All right.
So, if I know he trashed the inside of the house, should I investigate by the altar, or should I be looking outside the house?
With the clues that you have at the moment, you, without a check, you would know at least 2 things. So, he came into town, trashed the place, then probably left. If he left through the town, someone in your group would have seen him. If he went, like, southwest. Because he would have to cross the whole town to exit. So either you would have seen him coming back from the lodge, or someone in town would have seen, a guy without a coat walking around. That's got to be suspicious.
Or in Helifine's ideas of dude that's just totally naked with his junk hanging out.
And I didn't run into his tracks coming into town the day before.
That could be also. Like, he waited just when you were about to leave to do his misdeed. Regardless, if he did take the time to trash the place, there should be other clues around. He would have had to stay in the house for an extended period of time. So maybe the neighbors saw something, even though they're kind of far away. Or maybe he left something behind. Because, you know, there are a lot of fishing rods, a lot of hooks.
Yeah, and they did do a hasty job cleaning back up. So yeah, I will just do an investigation. And I get to add a D4 to that, right?
Yes.
So
While he's doing that, I probably wouldn't have gone back inside.
Okay.
I would have stayed outside. And because it came up, I'd like to just kind of just get a real good whiff of this Dugan's whole air. And just see if anything smells a little not
Holy?
right. Not Dugan's hole, if you know what I'm saying.
It smells, especially the shack where Etten lives, it smells of fish. It smells of cool winter air. It smells slightly of pine trees due to the proximity of the some of the trees around town. But it smells like salted fish jerky. Much more than it smells anything else.
Okay.
With a 12 in investigation, looking at everything around the house, you realize that where the altar is, there are little puddles of water on the ground that haven't frozen yet. You're muted.
And do you keep something fresh in here?
Would
And
just-
then I'd be like, wait, you wouldn't have anything in here moist, right? For fish or anything you would have caught recently?
I'll lift up my sad mattress and reveal a drying rack where I have fish drying to jerky. underneath my bed. Oh yes, this is
He
where
doesn't have a lot of dates, does he?
This is where I cure my fish jerky.
Oh, okay then. Yes. No, then I would move in closer to get a closer look at the water. Like, are they large puddles or small?
They're like rather sizable puddles, like if someone had left an entire ice cube melt. As you touch, like, do you have gloves on your hands?
Yeah, I'm wearing those big bear glove bits that are like, the wool bear gloves or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay. So I mean, if you touch the water and you hold it, like hold your glove up, the water has this sort of elastic quality to it that water normally doesn't have. It's more like glue that's about to set.
And I know that since we just had the blizzard, it's cold enough outside that it should be close to freezing.
Yes, let me remind you, minus 40 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Water should freeze before it hits the ground.
Did she give a description, like the person she gave us description-wise, it was a human or is it a smaller?
Yes, I will, if you are all on roll 20, which you should be, I will show you the picture of said person you're looking for. Pew, pew, pew. There you go. Sefek Caltro. A man in his late 40s with a like slick back hair, salt and pepper, mostly pepper still, quite well built, not necessarily for someone who's strong, but someone who kept in shape and kept exercising throughout their lives. And he wears, much like the picture, just vest, trousers, and a shirt, which he even rolls the sleeves up. And his eyes, of course, I forgot to mention that earlier, but his eyes are bright blue.
All right, I'm gonna stand a little bit. If I position my feet sort of like a pace? Do they sort of like if I position my feet? Do they sort of fit like shoulder pace? Like if I stand my feet in them?
Yeah.
And
The
so
puddle would be. In fact, the puddle would be almost where the handle of the axe was. Like if you look at where the axe laid, like you clearly see where the blow was made, and it's, you know, roughly, if you were to stand and hold something at arm's length, that would be thereabouts.
So I'm gonna assume then that that's sort of probably, I think, where he stood. Like, are they about foot shaped or at least foot length? These holes.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to turn and I assume look around for something similar now. Either through his thing or at least maybe leading out. And I'm gonna ask Etten here, do you have any holes you haven't patched perhaps in your little house?
Patch like patch my cloak.
You know, maybe wind gets in, you just haven't had time to get to it.
Etton's gonna kind of look around. If we're all in there, it's very crowded. It's well, there's cracks and holes everywhere. It's you can see.
All right.
Speaking of the axe, while they're investigating, Sarkia would like to sit down outside with it, and she's going to spend 10 minutes to cast Ritual Detect Magic just to see if there's anything special or about it.
You'll cast it as a ritual, so that'll take you like a good 10 minutes. Okay. While you do so, I'm just gonna go back to the rest of the group before I give Ragnar's the success. Well, the description of what you did with your 22, what you find with your 22 perception. Which, by the way, you can also add that 1d4 guidance because it applies. Oh no, it applies to only one check. Sorry, my bad. So Etten, Alize, and Helifine, are you doing anything during these 10 minutes of investigation?
Yeah, after Ragnar shows the puddle and asks the question to Etten, Alize starts looking around and trying to figure out where that might have come from and if there are any other similar puddles around.
That would also be a perception check. And I'll get back to you with the same, well, maybe the same results that Ragnar gets. Etten, yeah?
I will, as Fancy Pants is looking around and he asked me about holes in the wall. I'll just kind of shrug, but then reach down and pick something up that had been knocked, like one of my fishing poles or something that had been broken in the thing, and cast mending and just fix it and then put it back on the wall just like it was no big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Helifine will, when Sarkia comes outside and sort of takes the axe and starts focusing on it, she's again gonna make a big show of just like, yeah, there's nothing, no suspicious smells out here. Everything kind of smells like fish. Huh. And then she'll recognize that Sarkia is like trying to focus on the axe. And because she's never really seen this before and she doesn't know how it works, she's gonna like stop mid-step to stop like crunching snow and make no noise whatsoever. So she'll just like be frozen, basically.
Which, given the
Yeah,
temperature, is
yeah.
likely to happen.
Sarkia still has her eyes closed because she's casting. She just kind of stops for a second and goes, "You don't have to. Just keep walking."
I can't.
And she just keeps casting the spell. She's very yeah.
So, both Ragnar and Alize, with your your very high perception, you start looking around the shack, not finding any more puddles, and then begin looking around the shack outside. First, going to where the most logical path that the killer might have taken, which is, the road to Goodmead. But you do not find any more puddles. In fact, any more tracks at all. Even feeling the snow with your hands, you don't find any places where the snow might sink a bit more, indicating that there was a heavy footfall in that area not too long ago. You double back, check the other way. You don't find anything. And as you're about to, give up or not really know where to go, where to look, you find tracks that are almost hidden in the snow, crossing through a snowbank. This guy is not wearing snowshoes or anything, so he's, sinking in the snow quite a lot, heading straight for the lake.
I will sort of double back over the tracks once there, just to make sure, that is where they are heading and I'm not confused on their direction.
Sarkia would discover that the axe is indeed magical, and so are the puddles in Etton's house, and the frost dagger.
Would I get any clue as to the magic involved? Because I usually get the school.
Yes, the school would be conjuration.
Okay. He's conjuring gooey puddles in Etton's house. I don't like where this is going.
It's a very simple spell. You have
very hands-on technique.
Yeah, you only need somatic components. Sometimes you can add
concentration.
Verbal. Oh yeah, it takes all of your concentration, all of it. You cannot make any intelligence checks while you're casting this spell.
Is this what you were looking at? That's the one, right? This is the track, cause I noticed it. I mean, of course, I saw you looking through it, but see, that one is going similar to that.
Yes, that's it doesn't make sense, but that's where it's going.
Ha! Yeah. Cool.
So
It's fun.
went.
He went out into the lake. Yes, I mean it's frozen, so it's not like he's.
Don't
There's
take this.
Nothing out there.
Are you sure?
I double checked.
Have we gone all the way down to the shoreline? I don't know what you call it when it's frozen.
I guess it would still be a shoreline.
Still a shoreline.
The cold shoreline.
Yeah, I checked it. I mean,
How thick is the ice?
So, the Red Waters Lake is not completely frozen over yet. There's about 80% of it that's completely frozen. The ice is thick enough for the first... Oh my god, is it the first half a mile? It's thick enough that people can just stay on it. Just stay there all day fishing and not risk anything. Of course, the farther out you go, the thinner the ice is. But you would have to walk from Dugan's Hole. You would have to walk 4 miles, 3.7 miles, to reach running water in this lake. So
do the tracks go out onto the ice?
Yeah.
That would seem so.
Oh, wonderful. I can show you all my favorite hole to fish in.
I don't think he was looking for fish. Or he would have grabbed some from your stash.
Oh, that's why I hid it under my bed.
But he didn't take your fishing poles either.
That is a very valid point.
Maybe he has
I
his
know.
own.
Or he's noodling.
What?
You noodle? Noodle the fish?
Mm-mm.
Oh, oh.
Well, we just
Enough.
found the name for our spell. Noodle the fish.
Well, Sarkia comes up behind. Sarkia comes up behind them, and of course she grew up in a town that was on the water. And she looks at Etten and goes, "How big do the fish get here?"
Oh, you know. Oh, crap. What kind of trout are they? I forgot.
It's knucklehead trout.
The knucklehead trout, they get quite large. Hello! I'm one of the greatest fishermen in the village.
Yes, I don't know if you can noodle a knucklehead trout. I've seen catfish. I saw someone lose his arm up to his elbow.
It's dangerous, yes.
This is dangerous.
Guys, if this person is like a professional murderer, why would they waste time fishing?
Maybe they're hungry, but most likely not. Sarkia will pass along the fact that not only are the two weapons magical, and have the conjuration properties, which could definitely be dangerous, but also the sticky puddles were magical.
Yep.
Yeah, they were.
They were also conjuration.
Somebody was conjuring sticky puddles all over your house, Etten.
I think you have to move now.
To be fair, I will also add this to your detect magic. The magic in the puddles is fading.
Well, it would, wouldn't it?
No, but I'm.
Maybe something magical was there.
I
causing
mean,
the puddles.
when you noodle the fish, the thing that you conjure remains only for up to 72 hours, after which
Oh
it
my
becomes.
Goodness.
Please continue this metaphor, Simon. This is great.
Sure,
Well-
but not to give you like any wrong information about the game. It's not 72 hours in this very specific case. But yeah, so once you've noodled the fish, whatever it is that you're holding in your hand remains for X amount of time.
Until you wash your hands.
Well, the detect magic doesn't say it exactly. Maybe an identify would.
I don't think I want. to
Or you
identify
can
it.
spend an hour playing with the sticky puddle
Nope.
and attune to it.
Absolutely not.
Tune to the sticky puddle.
Guys, I think I have to quit D&D now. I'm sorry.
So Ragnar would go up to her and take the axe from her hands then and just chuck it very far across the hill.
Can I have the dagger at least then?
He'd be like, can you use it in some way to pinpoint where he is?
I can use it to stab people.
No. He can use it to know where we are on the way to him.
Well, it depends what kind of magic he's using. Conjuration is... it's usually specific to the weapon.
The weapon that we're holding.
I mean, if he is beloved of the goddess, she could be telling him where we are, yeah?
So, and then I'm gonna take the dagger and... Is that no?
If you must.
So not good for anything then. And
Well, stabbing, but you're throwing it anyway.
yes, and he just lobs it very, very far.
Lobbing the dagger, you would realize that it is not made to be thrown like an actual
weighted
dagger.
right.
It's not weighted right at all. Like the battle axe, I mean, a battle axe is a battle axe. Even if you throw it, it's not made to be thrown anyway. But the dagger, which normally you've thrown daggers before, Ragnar, they shouldn't spin, tip over pummel as much as that one did.
Wow, that was terrible.
I was going more for away from us and less more for into a thing.
I mean, I could show you if you want me to at some point, but I just really, I guess, did not expect that from you. You look like you carry yourself I don't know. Like you can handle yourself, take care of yourself. I don't know. I guess I expected more. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put pressure on you. You look like the type of person who would,
Well, now we no longer have these random magical items that came from a magical killer, so he can't magically track us or know we're coming. And so now, let's go back.
Sarkia is not paying attention to him at all. And instead she's having a conversation with the top of her coat. At which point, a very disgruntled, I'm so sorry, baby, I know you're half asleep. A very disgruntled Puppers sticks his head out of her coat. And she kind of puts him down on the ice, and he turns into, I guess up here it would probably be some kind of falcon of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but bird of prey.
Yeah. And she says, he's going to look for us.
By the way, while you're doing that, you realize, you doing that with your familiar, everybody else talking, Helifine is missing.
That's not good.
The large one.
Looking about, you would see her. She is now on the lake, walking and trying not to slip and fall on the ice.
Well, let's hope she's found the tracks. Or at least not one of the holes.
Helifine, you would see a lot of fishing holes as you walk past them on the ice. They're far apart, enough to say that if you were fishing at one spot, you could shout at someone fishing at another spot, but you could definitely not use multiple holes to fish by yourself. Because you'd have to run from one hole to the next.
Yeah, using the multiple holes while you're by yourself is just going to be difficult, Simon.
It's preferable to use one rod in one hole.
I mean,
you could do two rods in one.
At a time.
Yeah, no, but you could do multiple rods in the same hole. As soon as one begins to move, you can just
don't get
yank
over
on it.
ambitious now. You don't want those holes to get too big.
And you don't want them to get overfished.
We're talking about ice fishing.
Yeah.
We're talking about ice fishing.
Talking about...
We totally are.
Okay, good.
Don't they get replenished over time, the fishing holes?
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah,
you see,
so
the
what are we worried
knucklehead
about?
trout, they swim from hole to hole.
Yeah. So what are we worried about?
So Helifine would be looking for any freshly cut fishing holes, anything that looks new. And if nothing was immediately evident, she'd turn and just scream back at the others on shore. I don't think you're a very good tracker. There's nothing out here.
And that is when the ice breaks behind Helifine.
Oh no!
And a completely wet man comes out of the ice, grabs Helifine by the collar of her coat, and will try to drag her down. But that depends on what I roll.
I would like to try and flip him over my shoulder.
It might work. I'm just gonna try for his grapple check. So he's gonna have advantage, but you still have to roll either at acrobatics or athletics. Your choice of the two.
How far are they from us?
We're on shore.
Yeah, she's roughly maybe like 200 feet from you.
I'm sure when I see this, I'm just gonna be like, not that bad of a tracker.
I'm gonna go with acrobatics.
Acrobatics? Alright. And I will get his stats out. He has a +3, I believe. Yes, with advantage. So, a 15 or an 11. So I'm going to go with an 15.
2.
He jumps out of the ice, tries to grab you by the shoulders or by the collar. How do you dodge out of this?
So Helaphine, the instant he makes contact with her shoulders, she moves so fast you almost don't even see it happen. She basically grabs him by the wrists and just flips him right over her head, back down, just onto the ice.
The ice cracks under the blow as there's a loud thump, and the air just gets thrown out of his lungs.
And she'll put a knee down on his chest to try and prevent him from moving if she can.
What we'll do is we'll roll initiative. If you roll higher than him, you can definitely use that to pin him down.
Okay.
It's just he might, because he has like very good reflexes, I don't want to be like, oh no, he dodges out of the way or anything. So everyone can roll initiative because everyone will probably try to react.
And just so you know, because the only thing I could really find on D&D Beyond for a familiar that works is like a snowy owl. So
Yeah, that works.
The familiar circling overhead, kind of, so that we can see where they are if we can't, like, immediately perceive it.
Looking for my pen.
Initiative. And back to licking the elbow. Why the elbow, Bob?
Alright, so he's got a 10. Alize got a 12. Regnar a 5. Ooh, Sarkia a 19. Etten and Helaphine.
18.
18.
And he won.
21. Yeah, you definitely have the better reflexes.
Yeah, so I'll try and because I haven't really gotten a chance to recognize my attacker yet, I'll flip him over and put a knee on his chest to try and prevent him from moving. And is it the person who is described to us? Is it Suffolk?
It's definitely Sefik.
Cool. I don't like that. Helaphine will try and keep him pinned, but she's also kind of shocked that the naked murderer is not naked and did in fact come to her, so a little surprised.
Alright, so he is currently prone and grappled by Helaphine, who is... You're basically just, like, putting pressure on his chest with your knee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That would bring us to the next person with extraordinary reflexes, Sarkia.
Exactly how far away are they from me?
200 feet.
That's rude.
That's kind of far.
That's a bit far. Alright, well I guess Sarkia will use her entire turn to run.
You are now at 140 feet.
Yes. That's what I will have to do.
Okay.
Oh my god, Bob.
Next person is Etten.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna run out there. Trying to see which spells will actually reach. I guess I'm gonna have to do my whole move and dash, so I'll do the full 60 feet.
Alright. Yeah, it might be just dashing for most of you for the first turn.
And so that puts me, I'm still 120.
140.
Yep, I can't do anything. Boogie.
Alice?
Alize will also run, but double dash using the cunning action.
Alright. So yeah, you would be at 110 by the time your turn is over. So while everyone is running, he's stuck under the knee of Elefine. He tries to get a whole, like, some manner of wiggling free, puts his hands on both sides of your knees, and realizing that he cannot move, he just looks up at you, Elefine, and smiles as he disappears in a cloud of mist. Everyone would see Elefine, flipping the guy over, putting a knee on him, and then all of a sudden he reappears behind her as a dagger of ice forms in his hand, and he stabs her in the back twice. Well, maybe he might stab you in the back with a 24 and a 19.
Both of those are gonna hit.
You're gonna take a total of 9 piercing and 8 cold damage.
Oh my god. Okay.
He laughs the same way he laughed in the soundtrack. I think I have
I'm
it.
resistant to cold, so you said
8
piercing?
cold, 9 piercing, 8 cold. So that would come
Okay,
up to
so 9 and
9 and
4.
4, yeah.
Cool. Okay. That's not as bad. It's still not good, but not as bad.
And he seems to make it a show of doing it. Like, he's not looking at you, Elefine, though he's in back of you, so you don't really see his face, but everyone else who's running, he is looking at all of you while he's doing this.
I just wanted to point out, since you sort of skipped me, as before I would go to run, I would have cast well, you can ignore the damage on it because I'm saying
Yeah,
I would have
Zephyr
had
Strike.
Zephyr Strike, so I would have been moving 120 feet, so I would have been 80 feet away when this goes.
Well, he plays at 10, you play at 5.
Oh no! Oh, okay. So I thought this was the start of the new turn. Okay,
Oh, no,
so
no,
then-
no, 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 I was going to go to you. So you, Zephyr Strike gives you, it's an...
It adds 30 feet onto my walk speed.
Okay, so you're at 110 as well.
So yeah.
Alright.
So I ran,
Strike.
I dashed, yeah. So I went up to 120 there. So yeah.
So you and Alize are at the front of the group running, while Sarkia and Etten are running 30 feet behind you. Elefine, he just removes the ice cold dagger from your back, and you can feel like a shiver just go down your spine as, while you don't really see it right now, the wound is instantly cauterized in ice.
Hey. I will. Phew. It's not in my nature to retreat. So, you'll see her kind of just like wince from the cold for just a second, and then she's gonna wheel around and pop, pop, pop right in his jawline. So.
He used to have such a pretty face.
14?
14 hits. Did I say that he was essentially naked?
No, but if he is, that will make Helifine very happy. I mean, just because she was totally right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So 14 for the first, and then 18
That also hits.
and 16.
That also hits.
Okay. For a grand total of... I need another D4. There's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 bludgeoning damage.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah. 21 bludgeoning damage, and she'll just like stand and hopefully watch a little trickle of blood.
Oh,
run
it's
down his
it's
face.
not just a trickle. You caved his nose in, and he spits out about 3 teeth from his mouth as he looks at you with just multiple holes, smiling. And he's like, nice.
If he's mostly naked, she'll kind of realize that and drop her hand low to censor him.
Yeah, he's still wearing his clothes. It's just
Mostly not.
they cling to his body, accentuating all the different...
Dick print. He's got dick print. Just say it.
Fish noodle.
I could say massive dick print, but it is minus 40 degrees outside, so... Sarkia, you're up.
Sarkia will run another 20 feet.
Okay.
So that's going to put her at 120.
Yes, within sniping distance.
Yes, and she is going to snipe. She's going to cast Firebolt, which is going to miss because Kelly can't do shit. 13.
13 hits.
Oh, really? Okay.
You did it.
He's naked.
Wow! I hate everything about this game.
So, just a
Winning
bit...
Dungeons and Dragons.
Just a bit of narration before we get to Etten. After he laughed, you would see Elephine, his nose falls off, and a nose made of ice begins to grow as he regenerates the wounds. But then he gets hit by a tiny firebolt. And he looks at his shoulder with like the plume of smoke coming out. He's like, oh no. Anything but this. And the nose is still a gaping hole instead.
Do that again.
I had an inkling that he might not like fire.
Etin, you're up.
Yes. I will move my 30 feet ahead, which puts me 110 feet, even with Fancy Pants and Alizé, correct?
Mm-hmm. If you move up to your speed, yeah, you're at the same, 110.
Okay. Man, my range is not... And I'm gonna, peel my shield off of my shoulder and point it at him, and you stay away from my friends, hello, and cast Guiding Bolt.
Ooh.
Let's
Go
just see
ahead.
here. That is a 19 to hit.
But definitely hits.
Oof. All right. 6, 10, 15, 19, plus... Nope, 19 damage.
He gets hit with the guiding bolt and begins shining. And Elephine, you can see in his face, his gleeful expression, like gleeful malice, turns rapidly to despair and fear.
Good.
Alizé, you're up.
Finish him.
Is he any he doesn't have any flames on it, does he?
No, he's not currently on fire.
Okay.
The next person that attacks them does have advantage, thanks to
Yeah.
the mystical dim light glittering on the target.
He was very wet when I cast Firebolt. That's why it only did 1 damage.
Yep, that's how it works.
So Aliza wants to chuck out the flask of whale oil at him to cover him. with the whale oil, hoping that.
You would need to walk to run closer, though.
Yeah, so I have I still can dash twice, right? With my bonus action.
Well, you can move and dash. So that would
Yeah.
put you
Oh, yeah.
that would put you 50 feet away, which is just enough to fling the flask.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll do that.
All right. Normally, at this range, it would be with disadvantage, but because
Okay.
you also have advantage because of the
Yes.
thing, you only roll it normal. So roll
Okay.
to hit.
What do you want me to roll?
Uh, that would be the same attack you would roll with one of your weapons, basically. Like short sword or your dagger. So taking the first number because it's not advantage, but the 13 does hit. So as he freaks out in front of Elephine, you just see this flask of oil just wash over him as it covers him in wait, oil is
It's
oil's
the whale
transparent.
oil,
Yeah, it's the whale oil. Is whale oil transparent? Anyway, for the sake of this, we're gonna say it's black. It's like tar. And just cover him like an oil spill. And he just like spits out a bit of what is this? And realizing he is completely outmatched, he will make a run for it to dive back into the hole he came out of.
Will he take an attack of opportunity in the process?
He would, because he really doesn't care to disengage. He wants to get the F out ASAP.
Cool. We're gonna use the big die for this. That's an 18
18 hits.
for 7 damage.
For 7 damage.
Yeah.
It's still not enough to kill him. He shambles forward and just falls into the hole. And he begins swimming away. However, the oil covering him leaves a trail. And he's going towards where the ice is thinner. Through the ice, you can barely see the trail of oil leaving. Ragnar.
So I can see the trail of oil, essentially?
Yep. So right now, you would be at 110 feet from where he was. And he walked, well, he's swimming, like he's like 15 feet away from Helifine. So he's at 125 right now from you.
Okay.
But under the ice.
Well, I still haven't used my Zephyr Strike, so I still have the walking speed bonus, so I can move 60 feet forward.
Mm-hmm. So
And
you'd be at
then-
65 from him.
And then, would it be a full action to sort of light? I want to like tinder light like something on the end of an arrow real quick.
Oh, you want to light up an arrow?
Yeah. How quickly could I do that?
That, if you do it yourself, would take your whole turn.
I don't have
But
it.
if you just hold up an arrow and Sarkia casts Firebolt on it, like she could you could just hold your action.
Yeah, that's
Light it
that's
up
what I'll
and then
do.
fire.
I'll sort of use my action to sort of rig a bit on there and yell to Sarkia to make herself useful.
Well, now I don't want to do it.
And I will aim at the oil trail.
Helifine.
So, here is where being Goliath is beneficial. I am a bit faster than a typical humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
So, with a walking speed of 40, am I fast enough to catch up to where he is submerged
Definitely, he's 15 feet away from you.
Sweet. Then I'm gonna do that and sort of head him off and just punch through the ice and pull him out.
Okay, we'll do it that way. Make an attack with disadvantage. If you hit, it means that you not only punch through the ice, but also grab them.
Okay. That's a 12 and a 13. So plus 6, each of those will hit.
You run up to about where you think he is, punch through the ice. It's a solid foot of ice. And you grab something wet. And you pull it out. And it's a knucklehead trout.
You
No, I'm
noodled
kidding.
it.
It's him. You pull out, well, halfway
I don't want
out
to
of the
noodle
water.
him. I just want to pull him out of the ice.
He is now half out of the water. And you're holding him up
Yeah.
for all to see. That is Sarkia's turn.
She will make a series of explicit language curses at Fancy Pants in multiple languages, some of which are exotic and he probably doesn't know. And she will cast Firebolt on the arrow.
Alright.
Do you want me to roll an attack for that?
No. It's, unless Ragnar wants to make it a point for you to, like, wants to make it hard for you, you don't have to roll.
Yeah.
And then I believe, Ragnar, you were holding your action for that.
Yes, once it's on fire.
So
then
you
he will-
shoot at him. 65
yeah.
feet. What's the...
Once he sees it being yanked up, yes.
Alright, his
Be
back is
considered
turned
prone,
to you.
kind of?
No, he's
Or
not
grappled?
prone because Elephine is hoisting
Oh,
him
he's
up.
got him up. Okay,
So
that's right.
he's basically just grappled. His speed is now 0.
Where is my...
I'm holding
on
him
the
up
spell's
like
turn.
a prized knucklehead trout.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
With his noodle on display. What?
Aww.
Oh. But I was helping.
You were helping.
So, does he not get advantage?
Sure. Sure, it counts as a help action.
Simon's like, I'm not going to take this away from you.
No, it's too cool, unless, like, it was really, like, abysmal, but no. So yeah, a 16 does it. Basically, you were aiming your bow, and you were slightly wrong, and in a Robin Hood moment, Sarkia just came up to you and blew in your ear, and then you just, like, redirected your aim. Just fine.
Chills.
Oh, it would have been... I mean, the arrow itself would have been 8, and then the Zephyr Strike would have been... I don't know why I didn't send, but it would have been an extra 3 from the Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
And then, you know, fire.
Yeah. The flaming arrow hits him square in the back. And it ignites... Cool, thanks. It ignites him on fire. And he starts screeching and screaming as he's, like, half of his body is engulfed in flames. And he tries to, well, it's gonna be on his turn anyway, but he tries to get away from Elephine. Etin.
So now that they have swam away further, I was at 110, so now they're at like 120 feet away from me again.
They are only 15 feet away, so 125.
Okay.
I mean, if you have a spell that hits at 90, like...
Yeah,
okay.
I don't. Unfortunately. Where did you run to, Ragnar?
Ragnar would
I
only
moved
be...
a little bit farther up.
Yeah, he would be 45 feet away from you.
Okay. Well, I'll move up my 30,
Mhm.
well, I guess I'll sling another guiding bolt at him. Let's see what happens. Uh, 16 to hit.
16 does hit.
Yeah. So raising my shield up again at the sky and then bringing it back down and pushing it out from there. 4, 11, 15. Radiant.
15?
Yep.
How do you want to kill him?
Yes. Oh, whoops. Accidentally. Hey, that's funny. Okay. So he's held up and flaming, right? So Etten, in his big furry furbolgness, has this shield that looks comically small on his body, and he's gonna say, "These are my friends, and I will protect them." And shoot the radiant beam out at him, and it's gonna catch him right in the chest and kind of spread out from there.
Like an evil Care Bear stare?
Yeah, basically.
That sounded like the vampires from Pures of Might and Magic 2, that blah, that kind of thing.
He gets hit by the guiding bolt, and in front of you, Halifine, as you hold him, his entire body turns to ice before shattering. Sure, he gets in one last laugh. After he shatters into 1,000 pieces, a voice echoes across all of Icewind Dale.
Oops.
The angry voice of a stern woman that says, "You may think you have won."
Uh-oh.
That was not my good.
Well, it certainly wasn't mine. I don't have one.
I don't believe that we will be able to collect that head.
I just pulled him out of the ice, and then all of a sudden he was on fire, and then he
fair enough.
exploded.
Oh, can I give you a hug?
Helifine is bloodied pretty badly. She's
Yeah.
probably just gonna melt into a Goliath puddle out on the ice.
Etten will go to her and wrap her up in a big furbog hug and cast Cure Wounds.
Sarkia will walk up to Ragnar and be like, "So about that whole me being useless thing. I'm sorry. I can't hear you."
What about it? And then Ragnar will walk over and start to look through the
Next
shattered
time I'll
remains to
light
find
you
something
on fire.
large enough to, retrieve.
Yeah. One of the shards of ice is clearly half of his face.
Like, it's like,
Like
it's
an ice
recognizable.
sculpture. And while all the weapons melted, his what? What's going on? What have I said?
No, not what you said.
Oh, what? I
What did I
have.
miss?
Oh, Jesus!
Oh.
And somebody's a child.
Sure. You know what? Let's make this game. Like we were still in high school or something. Yeah, you find a frozen pee-pee that is clearly recognizable as his and will work as proof of his demise.
I mean,
Like, it's got
apparently
his
it's famous.
initials. It's got his initials in it.
Clearly.
Very distinctive
Yeah.
piercing.
Yeah, very distinctive piercings, and so yeah, you can add to your inventory the
Popsicle
the
dick.
icy dildo of Oril,
Oh no. It's like the bachelorette present you don't want.
and that's where we're gonna end tonight's game.
On a high note.
wonderful. You know damn well who it was that said it in chat.
Happy birthday, PJ! You get a frozen dick.
He knows exactly who's going to be getting that gift.
Wait.
There's only one ice
my
cold mage
cheeks
in this
hurt.
group. So
Just so you know, it is ice that never melts, regardless of the
Ooh,
temperature.
dear. That's someone's fetish.
The ultimate whiskey stone.
Like the giant.
Like the giant.
Wait, what if it put the dick on fire? It's like nothing happens, right?
Okay.
be the greatest torch.
Oh my
Serious.
goodness.
I'm sure this is exactly what the authors for Rime of the Frostmaiden
I
envisioned.
think
They
I
were
know.
like,
I
what
think
if?
I know the one that wrote this adventure, and they're probably gonna kill me.
Oh wow.
I'm not
Said-
not proud of us, you guys.
Oh no, that was awesome.
I mean, the fight was pretty epic.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Poor Simon. He always, every game I play with him, and he throws like big monsters at us, so we kill it faster than he expects.
At least I totally have the "you're welcome" look, but you know.
Oh, to be fair, most
To be
of the boss
fair.
fights in all of my DMing career have ended because of someone barging in, casting Hold Person, me failing my check, and just all the party gathering around the big bad and pummeling him to death.
I broke the last one's leg though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was...
So
Yeah.
the diplomatic way to win.
Yep.
Just gang beatings, just...
It's just, I mean, that's what D&D is all about. Just gangbang with your friends. So, on that high note, let's
Husband,
go
aren't
around
you
the table.
glad that I said that you should stream D&D with everybody?
What everybody wants on their birthday? Just one happy gangbang.
Please, the one day my husband didn't watch the stream.
It's okay. So we're gonna have the VOD up on YouTube soon enough. But let's go around the table. Tell us before we leave who you are and where we can find you on the internet. Let's start with our mage, Sarkia.
Hello, hello. I'm Kelly, known as the Opera Geek. You can follow me pretty much everywhere at the Opera Geek. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I don't know what I'm going to play next because I just finished playing something. And no, I know on next Sunday I'm going to be playing a dating game that PJ bought me, and I'm going to have Urban Bohemian with me. Just, we're going to be drinking and playing a really bad dating simulator. So this is going to be fun. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm doing this week. Oh God. I think that's actually it for once. But yes, I am married to that. And it is his birthday!
Birthday!
Happy birthday.
Yes, you got a frozen dick for your birthday.
You're
And you know what?
welcome.
I'm gonna give you something more. Just all of you, not just Ragnar. But for that fight and how you handled it and how cool it was, yeah, y'all are gonna get inspiration.
Woohoo!
No, if you were
But I already
expecting
had inspiration.
Oh, for real?
Reporting bad behavior. I mean, like...
If you already had it, like, just double it. Keep an extra one.
In your pocket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that an inspiration in your pocket, or you just...
Happy to see you.
Okay.
Oh,
I think I'm done now.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, we're gonna move to Ragnar.
Mhm.
Hi,
I
Ragnar.
am Ragnar, otherwise known as Pirate Jesus, or the birthday boy.
Yes.
I am currently married to her.
Why'd you say
Until
currently?
like it's gonna change tomorrow or something?
I mean,
Well-
it's been 15 years. I don't think it's changed.
I'm leaving my options open. Speaking of which,
Mark.
you can find me on
Mark.
Twitter at Pirate Jesus
Underscore.
I am currently not doing much there, so slide into my DMs.
I mean, just remember, Simon is your Canadian boyfriend and your foothold into Canada. So just, everybody keep that in mind. It's very
He's the
important.
communal Canadian boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm just like the town of Dugan's Hole. I'm open to everyone.
You smell like fish.
I don't smell like fish, though. No, that's true. I should change that. Thanks for reminding me, Diana. I'm gonna change that.
Oh no.
I'm like a cuddle pile.
Okay, that's much more
Oh,
pleasant.
wonderful.
I'm a cuddle pile covered in plaid shirts and maple syrup. Alize, you're next.
Yes, I am Professor XR on Twitter. I do virtual reality research and happy to be with this group. I just moved into a new house today and everything is hectic. But being all that tired and stuff today was a beautiful day. So thank you all.
And next is Etten.
Oh, hello. I'm Eden. My name is Justice, and I am one half of the team at Bard and Barbarian. You can find me on all the socials at Stashmandu. And you can find myself and where's
I'm above you.
above me, Diana over on Bard and Barbarian doing a couple different. We do a Call of Cthulhu game every other Thursday. We're coming back with Saturday morning cartoons this Saturday. And we also have a store, bardandbarbarian.com, if you want to check out some cool dice and other bard and or barbarian themed things.
And up next is Elefine.
Hi guys, I'm Diana D'Amico. I'm the other half of Bard and Barbarian. I'm also the affiliate manager over at Die Hard Dice. If my bosses never see this stream and don't fire me on the spot. I also play B on Denver by Night. I'm a part of the New York series that B. Dave Walters is doing in World of Darkness. Justice, what else do I do? Oh, I have a game coming up for Jasper's Game Day in a couple of weeks.
Thursdays
I'm
on
all over
Wizard
the place.
Rex.
Yep, Thursdays I'm over. This week I'm on Wizard Rex TV's channel playing some Call of Cthulhu. I'm all over the place. You can find me on Twitter, D'Amico Diana.
Cool. And well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you players for participating in this very serious and completely PG game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
That's how we love them. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to our partners. Thank you to all of you who hung out in chat. Thank you to those of you who watch us on YouTube. You can find me again this Friday on Cyberpunk as we continue our adventures in a very chaotic Night City. And we will introduce our first guest. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I'm on Twitter at wandering_DM. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you, Dungeon Master.
You're very welcome. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.